What does someone see when they picture a hacker? Is it a person that gets money through nefarious means? Is it someone who stands up to the system, defending their right to learn?
Experimentation with the monitoring and eavesdropping of stray electromagnetic fields from computer terminals.
Is it someone encouraged by that very same system? Well, whatever it is that you might think of, surely it's not the dude raw dogging it in Coach. At 42 years old, Michael Klapsis was an IT infrastructure manager for the Mediterranean Shipping Company in Fremantle, West Australia. He's a father of 3, a loving husband, an introvert, and a serial gooner. Because for the past 9 years, he's been trying to log into the email accounts of young women to gain access to their cloud storage, steal their intimate pictures, and he actually succeeded about 17 times. So how does he do it? When hackers want to gain access to accounts that you own, it can be done through a number of different ways. Sending you rats, remote access tools, cookie stealers, which allows a hacker to act as you by stealing your cookies, or just phishing it out of you by sending you a fake document and asking for personal information. The possibilities are endless, but one thing stays in common. These all can be done from a world away. Klapsis was different because his phishing attempts required him to be within a few feet of the target. He utilized an evil portal, a Wi-Fi access point that looks like any other public Wi-Fi. When you try to connect, it takes you to a captive portal page where it asks you for an email and a password, and the attacker can make this page look like whatever they want. I had this one cosplaying as a T-Mobile access point, but there are also other ones that make it look like store Wi-Fi, airline Wi-Fi, whatever you want for wherever you are, basically. For Klapsis, it was Qantas Wi-Fi. Once the victim types in their info, they're not connected to the internet. Nothing happens, and the victim's left to assume that the Wi-Fi is broken. However, the attacker, in the meantime, gets to see everything they just typed in, which is exactly how Klapsis got the info he needed. However, on the 19th of April, 2024, things changed. See, typically if you were to use an evil portal, you do it in a public place, airports being prime real estate, because everyone there is transient. Nobody wants to be in an airport for longer than they have to. So it's pretty easy to turn the device on, shove it into your bag, blend in with the crowd, and be on your way, never to be seen again. But Klapsis did the opposite. He turned the access point on the plane, where everyone is stagnant for hours. And on that flight, one of the flight attendants thought it was strange that there were 2 Qantas Wi-Fi networks. So when they landed, the police took over and started inspecting bags. And it's here where good old Mr. Robot's plans had been foiled.
I used to use my brain before, my prefrontal cortex been thrown out the door. 'Cause every day I need to keep Coomer.
Michael Klapsis was found to have hundreds of photos of women whose cloud storage he obtained illegal access to. And after deleting data to further impede the investigation, he was sent to 7 years in prison. But our story doesn't end here. In fact, it's probably going to get worse. Because after the investigation, the Australian Federal Police made a statement saying, if you do want to use public Wi-Fi hotspots, install a reputable virtual private network on your device to encrypt and secure your data when using the internet.
You serious?
Now, there are plenty of videos explaining why VPNs don't keep you safe that I recommend checking out, but this is just an egregiously stupid statement. Let me use my own evil portal, and I'll demonstrate why. As you can see, I'm connected to my VPN, and what happens when I connect to my evil portal? Well, I can still access it. Put in my credentials. and nothing happens, which is what you expect from an evil portal, but here's a look at the log.
Oh no, jeez, dude, how could this happen?
That's because when you connect to a captive portal, you're not trying to connect to the internet, you're asking for permission to authenticate to the network. So being that my device isn't on the internet, my VPN client can't connect to a VPN server, therefore a VPN is useless. So how do you avoid evil portals in public? Well, credit where credit's due, the AFP did also state, to connect to a free Wi-Fi network, you shouldn't have to enter any personal details such as logging in through an email or social media account, which is true. If you see any captive portal that asks for creds to another account, just disconnect from it. Now, there are plenty of captive portals in airports that will ask you for an email address just to prevent spam, and you can use any burner email you want to in there. That's normal. In airports like Chicago O'Hare, they will ask you for an email and make you watch ads, which is depressingly a new normal. And then regular public Wi-Fi without a captive portal just should not ask you for anything at all. But until next time, stay safe, everyone. Watch out for flying gooners, and I'll catch you all in the next one.